Okay, so this is more of a rant than a response. So excuse me if I seem a little bit um pissed, for lack of a better terminology. But okay, understand one thing. I agree with 95% of the video about what's wrong with parents, etc. I know a lot of people with authoritative, whatever you want to call that, with the one where they're too demanding and not enough response. I know kids with the other kind, and some kids with uninvolved. I've seen how that all goes down. And with the one last part, I would say that I really do have a problem with the idea, the concept of parenting. It's crazy. I haven't come up with a better solution, but here's why. You say it's not a democracy; they retain full authority. See, this is where I think it's not always the best, because now maybe this is just a crazy teen. Maybe I don't understand, and I've heard it all. So if anybody's gonna try to come at me like I haven't heard it all, as if it's not just telling me some cliche to just automatically push away any ideas I have based on my age or lack of quote unquote experience. I've heard it all. I'm just wanting this to because I want parents to see this. I want some people that are interested in parenting videos, and I understand very few, you know, parents are on YouTube, but those who are, I want to see this. Like, I really want them to see this. It's simply this, parents. I would agree you should be involved and be able to be consulted. But even though you might have a strong stance, I think it is ridiculous to. And let me tell you some things I'm tired of hearing from parents, is some of the cliche responses. One is because I said so. If any parent could insult their child's intelligence so much to say, because I said so, basically what that's saying is, your opinion doesn't matter. What it basically is saying is, I'm in control. And I know parents think, oh, well, that's a good thing because I am in control, right? Well, yes and no. I mean, you do have the final say. But the fact is, when you turn it into some sort of dictatorship in the house, that's the problem. We talk about it's not a democracy, yet we live in a democracy. So basically, all it is tyranny that is legal within this democracy. And I know people might have their responses of, well, what else are we supposed to do? And the fact is, parents have too many rights with their kids. And parents are acting as if their kids are their property. And that's how it's often treated as. And that's absolutely disgusting, this traditional idea of kids being the property of parents. That they can just use the kids however they want. It's my kid, I can raise him however I want. But it's not. It affects the kids. It affects their life. So it's not something to be taken as, oh, well, it's my kid. And really, and I'm really tired of just parents insulting the intelligence of kids. Or like, for example, they're like, oh, I don't want to argue. Well, this is my point. I'm standing by it. I don't want to argue with you. And I'm sick of that. And let me explain why. Because, fact is, maybe this is just me. But I wouldn't call myself an argumentative person. Okay, maybe I am. But I like discussion. I like to be able to discuss something. Do I sometimes get angry? Yeah, but only when someone will insult my intelligence. If you will engage in an active discussion with me, then I can respect your viewpoint. But if you're just going to insult my intelligence by just throwing out dogmatic beliefs, and all you ever do is just say, oh, well, I don't want to argue because this is what I believe and we're going to do it in this house. As long as you're in my house, you're going to follow this. I understand that, I have to live in your house, but it's also because I have to live in your house. It's not a matter of my choice. It's not a matter of, I don't have any control under my situation. I don't even understand that. I can't just go in an apartment. There are the extremes of running away, but obviously that doesn't work. And knowing my parents, they would just call the cops. So, there's really no winning for me. There's no winning for the kids. Basically, it's tyranny. And so, I think parents they're not understanding why the kids are so pissed off about it. Because, they just accepted it as kids. But a lot of kids feel like their intellectual capacity is actually further than their parents, and that's not always necessarily true. But their parents are often lost in the old style beliefs, and their parents are not willing to think or discuss. They think they have everything figured out. So they're not willing to discuss anything with their kids. They just insult their kids' intelligence by telling them, well, this is what I believe, you have to follow it, rather than discussing it. I've had this discussion about bad language, etc., about this whole one-way respect idea. I don't believe in cussing all the time, but if it's relevant to the situation, nothing's wrong with it. And it's actually reducing your vocabulary to not cuss. To overdo it is stupid, but all it is words that could be a part of your vocabulary, yet we just keep them out because of what? Tradition? Because of what? We don't want to talk about certain things that some people are uncomfortable about. It's all wimpy. And the fact is, when the parents are hypocrites, they might cuss themselves, etc. And yet they turn around and tell their kids not to. They will disrespect their kids blatantly and then tell them to show them respect. That one-way respect ideal. And when their kids don't agree, when they try to present their own state of argument, you basically try to beat the respect out of them that they failed to earn or deserve. Half of these parents don't deserve any respect, and that's the cold truth about it. They think that what? Because of their position, because of, I'm giving you a home, etc. It's the fact that society says that I can't be on my own. And I understand little kids, they need to have, they need to be parented. But I think parents focus too much on their kids' age rather than their kids' intellectual capacity, not understanding where their kids are coming from, not bothering to try, because they think they're so high and mighty because of their age. And I'm sure I'm not the only kid to say I'm sick of it. Maybe I'm a bit pissed off, like I said right now, but we're sick of it. We're sick of parents trying to treat us like babies. That's simply it. Treating us like babies. Treating us as if we had a lower sense of intellect than we actually do. And, I hear it all the time, well, if you not act like a baby, we wouldn't treat you like one. But the fact is, we're not acting like babies. Maybe, I'll admit it, I can get angry. It's true. A lot of kids can get angry, etc. We're not perfect. Neither are parents. So, you're in no position to tell us that you understand more, that you're more intelligent, and you have so much figured out. I feel like I have so much about my own life, about my own understanding, figured out in ways that my parents don't. So, I'm not trying to say I'm better than my parents, smarter, but I look better and smarter than my parents when I try to bring up an idea, they just laugh at it. They just say, oh yeah, well you'll grow out of that, etc. And I've had people tell me when I say I'm agnostic, I love Christian Science, oh, well, people are searching, well, I've already have it figured out because I'm old, so, I have it figured out. But the fact is, these parents don't have it figured out. A lot of people just want to know the truth, and I'm one of the few people willing to admit I don't know. So basically what they're saying is when I'm older, I am going to pretend that I know, or I'm going to say I found out the truth. Not admitting, when you're too old, when you're that age, you don't want to admit that you don't know. You want to pretend to have a certain understanding of something that we cannot yet understand. That we as people cannot yet understand. So you know what, parents? I want you to listen to this. Seriously. When you're talking about teens, anybody, don't look at age. Look at their intellectual capacity. If they're going to act like a little baby, if they're actually going to just whine about everything that has no, reasoning, then yeah, you should say, well, you're not going to be able to. Be nice to them, of course, but don't be like, give in to their will if they can't back it up. But you need to support debate and argument within the house if it's respectful. You need to support different ways of thinking, like said. You need to stop disrespecting kids and stop insulting kids' intelligence. And I guarantee you, they'll actually have some respect for you if you actually know what you're talking about. But if you can't back up any of your points, we're not going to listen. Peace.